So I wanted to discuss two things in this video, and that is a new filming update, I guess, with Andrew Lincoln. I wanted to talk about that because it's really, really interesting. I've been kind of following it, and I just kind of want to give some thoughts on the whole thing because it is just, again, I find it really, really interesting that he's actually filming a new series and just like everyone's response to it. But there's also some stuff that I want to talk about regarding Dead City's possible release date as well, because there's a rumor right now that it could potentially be in March. And so I do want to talk about that and give some thoughts on just sort of, where the Walking Dead universe is likely going to go here in the next year or so. And yeah, so before we go any further, make sure to be a subscriber if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this. I will be posting a review on episode 13 later on today. Actually, that might be out way later on tonight or something like that. I'm not entirely sure when that's actually coming out now that I'm thinking about it, because I am actually working on a breakdown / review kind of. It's not necessarily a review, but I want to revisit the very first episode of The Ones Who Live, because there will be a point when I go back and rewatch every single episode and review everything, or maybe just do the whole season as a whole, right? But I think right now what would be good is to, go back and watch the very, very first episode, because that episode, out of all 6 episodes, felt like an actual movie, right? Like when you look at the very first episode, it felt so cinematic, and the whole entire story as well felt like an actual movie compared to the other 5 episodes. The other 5 episodes felt more like a TV show, I would say, but this very first episode, it was honestly really incredible. So yeah, stay tuned for that. I'm going to be breaking down that entire episode and talk about Dead City first, and we'll talk about Andrew Lincoln afterwards. But in terms of Dead City, the rumored release date right now is March 2025, and this apparently comes from people on set and whatnot that just finished filming season 2. I've just been seeing people saying, it's likely going to be March 2025, and obviously as of right now that is a rumor, so who knows, right? But I will say that makes a lot of sense. I was thinking February for the longest time. I just thought that it makes sense. The Walking Dead always has shows coming out in February. But I guess if it does come out in March, it's not really that big of a difference. It might come out very early March, whereas before maybe it was supposed to come out in late February, right? But it's also possible that it does come out in late March as well. But March, I think, is a really good time to release The Walking Dead as well. Obviously every year we're used to watching The Walking Dead around that time of year. So I think it would be really incredible to actually, watch the show then. And it'll be really interesting because looking at it, you can kind of see how AMC is, if this is true anyways, you can kind of see how AMC wants to space out their shows here, because the break between The Ones Who Live and The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon, it's honestly it's insane. There's not a lot to talk about right now, and so that's why I'm doing these updates like this whenever we have them, and I'm revisiting older episodes and all of that, because there hasn't been a lot to talk about. Thankfully Comic-Con is next week, so we'll have all of that to talk about, the trailer and some of the announcements and all that. That'll give us a lot to talk about for quite some time, and then obviously that's going to be starting really the promotion for The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon season 2, which they haven't really necessarily been promoting it. And I mentioned that yesterday, as soon as they update the artwork and all that for the official social media accounts and stuff like that, then that they're promoting the new show. But as of right now, it's just been a little teaser every couple months or something like that, right? There hasn't really been a lot of talk on The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon. The last big update, really, I guess, which did get a lot of people talking, was early June, late May, early June, around the point of the Tribeca Festival. A lot of the early reaction to that, a lot of people were really excited about. And so, my point with this is really that I think they want fans to be talking about The Walking Dead, I guess a little bit more. I just kind of think of it in terms of people talking about the show and all of that. Obviously, it creates a lot of buzz when people are talking about it online and everything, and for the last however many months it's been so quiet. And I think it is because they do want the schedule that they're about to have, right, where Daryl Dixon airs in September and then Dead City airs in March, and if they stick to that, then you have Walking Dead content coming out every 6 months, right? But remember, it's not just you go 6 months without watching the show, because obviously 8 weeks of that, which is basically 2 months, is, you watching the actual show. Because yes, Daryl Dixon season 2 is going to be 6 episodes, but Dead City will have 8. And I imagine season 3 of Daryl Dixon will have 8 episodes as well. So when I look at it like that, if season 3 of Daryl Dixon comes out in September next year, and say Dead City season 2 comes out in March, just say it's late March or something like that, 8 episodes episodes. It's going until, I guess late May, at that point. And so as of late May, maybe things get quiet for a little bit, just for basically for the whole month of June. Yeah, I mean, Comic-Con is July, and so all of a sudden there's promotion for the next show, right? Same thing will happen for Daryl Dixon, right? Like once that show's over, like it'll end near the end of November, like some point around there. And then we'll all be talking about what we just saw, throughout December. And then January might be very quiet, but if the show's coming out in March, the promotion will start in February, right? So maybe a little bit before that as well. So I like how this is all structured here. Like I really do. Like I like the fact that I personally, I would prefer them to have like another original spinoff out there, just on something else. Just because there was always something fun about the other spinoffs that weren't connected to the main characters. And it was more just the focus on, a story outside of The Walking Dead. Like, Fear the Walking Dead had its issues, sure, but it was always fun to follow a story set in the Walking Dead universe that wasn't connected with our main characters, right? And then you had Tales of the Walking Dead, which obviously a lot of issues there, but it was still something different to watch. And then you also had The Walking Dead World Beyond, which was obviously, connected with Rick Grimes in a sense, but I think people really just enjoyed watching that, really because it was a different story. Obviously, I rated that whole series, or at least the first season, like a 4 out of 10, and then the second season like a 5 out of 10, because I wasn't really a fan of it, but it was fun to watch still, though. Like, it was still fun to watch, every single week, because there was still something. I think that's what's missing right now, and so I hope that at Comic-Con there is an announcement of some kind, or at least Gimple talks about the possibility of doing like another spinoff in some sense, because having just 2 spinoffs right now just feels like it's not necessarily enough. And I know AMC's plan right now seems to be to sort of cut back on some of the Walking Dead stuff and put more high quality stuff out there, which is something that, I've been wanting for a while. Definitely, I do agree with, but I feel like it should be a little bit more than what we've gotten. But then again, if they do increase the episodes to 8 episodes per season, I think that's also, really good. And I think that's sort of the issue that I have, is just I want to get excited about things Walking Dead sometimes, but it's hard when there's no new teasers or trailers or another show to watch or this and that, or merchandise and all that. There's not a lot of stuff out there. It's hard to be a fan of The Walking Dead, I feel like, right now specifically. But again, this is all gonna change next Friday. It's mostly been like that over the last couple of months. We're at the very end of it now. As soon as Comic-Con happens, there'll be a lot to talk about and things will get exciting again. But yeah, I think that if they wanted to release Dead City in March, I think that makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I think it makes way more sense than releasing it in February, just because, you have everything sort of evenly spread out, right? And there's only really going to be a month or two where there isn't a lot of talk about The Walking Dead, in between each season. But then again, that's probably when they're going to start promoting things and all that, right? So it's really hard to say, but in March, yes, if that ends up being true, really awesome. But let's talk about this other thing here, and that is with Andrew Lincoln. So he's been filming this new series called Cold Water, and I've been following what's been going on just because obviously I'm a fan of Andrew Lincoln, and so anytime he's filming a new series, I mean, it's just so different because he hasn't really filmed a lot of new series or done movies or anything like that in general in the last however long, right? When he left The Walking Dead, yes, there was Penguin Bloom, and he did a couple other things, but there were very small projects, and there wasn't a lot. Really, he just took a break for a while and then went and did The Ones Who Live. And now after The Ones Who Live, it seems like he's doing a lot more. So I'm really excited to see what he's actually going to be doing next here. And it looks like filming Cold Water is the next thing here. And again, it's a limited series. It's not a new TV show. I think if it was, that would be really cool, because I would so watch that and then review every episode, because who knows, it could be really amazing, right? I know with Cold Water, it's supposed to be this thriller. So I probably will watch it if there is a way for me to watch it, because I know that it's going to be airing in the UK. So I don't know if it's going to be airing over here right away or if it's going to be a week later. If it's a week later, then I'll review it, I guess, a week later. But yeah, I'm not sure, what's going to happen with that. But what I will say is it's really interesting because Andrew Lincoln is literally filming a new series right now, and you have so many fans, following him to the set and taking photos of him filming on set and whatnot. And I've been seeing a lot of people, have The Walking Dead comics and all that, and he's signing those. It's just kind of funny because The Walking Dead literally follows him everywhere he goes. And if he never had that role, again, I don't think there would be a lot of people there, wanting to get autographs and all that. So it's just interesting because I'm really fascinated in what he's going to be doing next, because whatever he does next, people are going to be watching very closely. Does it get as big as The Walking Dead or anywhere near near as big as The Walking Dead, right? Like, I feel like at this point, he's always going to be known as Rick Grimes. I just feel like that's going to be something that is always going to be there, and that's why I'm really interested in like the new series that they eventually do, because you know that they're going to get around to doing it. It's just a matter of when, and that's why Comic-Con next week is just, I'm so excited for it, because I just want to hear any sort of update. And again, Gimple's likely not going to like confirm that there is a new series like in the works. I'm not expecting that at all, but it's just the way he talks about it. Because if he says, you know, like we've been working on stuff, this and that, but obviously, you know, we'll have to wait and see or whatever, then that's a really exciting update. But if it is something like, you know, I'm really hoping that we do something, but I have no idea or something like that, then we know we're in the same place. I think the worst update would be, no, we're officially done. Rick and Michonne aren't coming back, but I don't expect him to say that at all. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna leave it here. Definitely post your thoughts down below on you know, everything happening with Andrew Lincoln, and are you planning to watch the new series that Andrew Lincoln's going to be in? And also, what do you think of the March 2025, I guess, release date for Dead City? It's a rumor right now. Maybe it's confirmed at Comic-Con next week, but yeah, just post your thoughts down below on that. And also, I'm thinking about doing a Comic-Con live stream. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do it yet. Like, for sure, I'm going to be doing a Comic-Con live stream. I just don't know if I'm going to be doing it on here or on Twitch, so I'll figure that out. Yeah, anyways, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.